A lot of you all have been asking me, is the housing market about to crash? While 85% of you all are panicking, there's a completely different story happening in real neighborhoods with real families, with real situations.
People are looking at change.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fear and concern about what could happen and possibility. I wish that people would shoot the shot. That energy of like waiting for just that additional price reduction or just that additional month is where I'm seeing people lose.
We need to stop panicking. Stop listening to the news and just get with the realtor and start doing the proper research.
On your area, hyperlocal. I mean, things are extremely hyperlocal in different jurisdictions. And look, correction is not the same as crash.
There's two things that I don't like about the Christian community, right? Number one is, if it's meant for me, God will bless me to have the home. And if I pray and God answers, that's God. And I'm like, I've never had to pray for a home.
If you're looking for generational wealth and you're trying to change your financial future of both yourself and your family, I don't know anyone that does not invest in real estate.
Facts. Let's get straight to it. A lot of you all have been asking me, is the housing market about to crash? Well, today I brought in individuals who are actually in the trenches every single day. These are my brothers from the Coalition Group who have been selling homes for over 20 plus years, and they've sold millions of homes down to 100,000 homes up to $1 million situations, right? And they are on the ground and they actually see what's happening, and they're actually going to give us some hope today. Because while 85% of you all are panicking, there's a completely different story happening in real neighborhoods with real families, with real situations. And I'm super excited about today's show because, you know, here we want to give you hope. Here, our main mission is to eradicate $1 billion in debt by the year of 2050 and build, watch this, $500 million in wealth within our particular E3 community. And one of the key ways of doing that is real estate. Is home ownership, AKA own something. So today is going to be that show. You're going to want to dial in and like it in. Hey, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and share this with a friend because we're going to get straight into it. But before we dive in, I want to ask y'all, man, real quick, because you all are not new to the channel. Y'all been on here now 5 times, coming on every single month, helping us out. What's one thing you all wish people knew about what's really happening in the market today when it comes to homes?
Well, as people are looking at change, there's a lot of fear and concern about what could happen and possibility. I wish that people would shoot the shot. When I say shoot the shot, I mean, if you're looking at a property that you were thinking about, that you've been monitoring, a lot of folks are hoping for just that extra price reduction or just another month or just another something. And we deal with both sellers and buyers on both sides of the market. And I wish that people now would just choose to take that action proactively and be engaging with like whatever side of the business you're trying to do something with, because that energy of like waiting for just that additional price reduction or just that additional month is where I'm seeing people lose.
Wow.
And I'm seeing them lose because by the time they wait or by the time that seller drops the price to the point where they would have made an offer, you've got so many folks kind of waiting on the sidelines, they hop in and then it becomes competitive and all the choices that folks had to negotiate or get concessions or do other things are gone. So, if I could tell folks things right now, I would say shoot your shot. Take action with the information you've got at that time, and you will probably get a better outcome than if you were just kind of waiting for things to get a little bit better or just another month to pass.
I love you say shoot the shot because I keep hearing a crash is here or a crash is coming. You all are in this market. You all are seeing it every single day. Is that true? Are we seeing a crash when it comes to the housing market right now?
I think it's a mix, right? Because real estate is hyper-local.
Okay.
And so what you'll see is in some parts of the country, especially locations that had a very strong run-up in pricing over the last couple of years, they're the ones that's experiencing the highest level of quote-unquote crash.
Okay.
And is it a crash? That's a debatable question, because what is a crash? But what I will say is there is an increase in inventory. That is not debatable. So you have places like Austin, Texas, right? Even places, even Washington, D.C. in some areas, right? You've seen an increase in inventory. But here's the interesting thing about that. It's also price point dependent. So some price points have larger inventory, and some price points, they're still moving like hotcakes.
Wow.
So it just depends on kind of the location and also the product pricing type that matters whether, you know, you're considered in a crash or what we would call in real estate, either a more balanced market or a buyer's market.
Let's be honest. Most people are stressed and stuck in the paycheck to paycheck cycle because they were never taught how money actually works. That is exactly why I built this channel. Every week, my team and I are breaking down how to master your money, how to get out of debt, save, invest, and build wealth without borrowing a dime. No fluff, no hype, just real money talk that actually helps you win financially. You see, because money impacts every aspect of our lives, our peace, our relationships, and even our future. If you don't take control of it, it will control you. And if you're tired of just surviving and you're ready to build wealth God's way, you're in the right place. Over 900,000 people have already subscribed to our YouTube channel with over millions of downloads on our Apple and Spotify podcasts. Now, when we hit 1 million on YouTube, we're giving away $30,000 to help you get out of debt and to start building legacy. So listen, don't just watch. Hit that subscribe, family. Join this community. Let's build real wealth. Let's build real financial freedom together. It's your boy. Hit that subscribe. Let's get back to the show.
Before doing this show, I did some research myself. I see that there is about a 20% increase in the houses available, right? So when it comes to regular families, I'm talking about your average income family making anywhere between $45,000 to $70,000 a year, who are not going to buy the $1 million homes, but they're going to buy the average affordable homes within their particular states. Would you all say this is a good thing or a bad thing for that average family?
I want to break down a little bit that crash concept when you throw that word out, because our most recent orientation with the crash was 2006, 7, and 8.
Yes.
And the dynamics then were extremely different because we both had a crazy run up in inventory, and the supply and demand equation is what changed the most in, where supply went crazy and demand fell off. Also, people's ability to actually purchase fell off as well. So for your average families right now that have modest, dual incomes, but not crazy money, they're feeling the squeeze from a technical standpoint on what they want to spend. But the difference between today and 2007 and 8 is that they can still do it. There's just the discretion to decide if they want to do it or not. They've looked at the numbers and said over the past 3 years, I've seen rates double in some cases, not 3 years now, I guess like 4 years, because time is not real, but they're still thinking in their head, I want that 3% rate, I want that 4% rate, and they're seeing 6s and 7s and saying like, that's double what I had to pay a year ago. And it's not a question of if they can do it or not, is do they want to, or do they feel like they're still getting the deal or the opportunity they got before? So I think for your average families, it's more about like getting some context about where this market cycle actually is in history, and knowing that while inventory is up, we are still, by most metrics, especially according to Realtor.com, about 14% below where pre-pandemic inventory levels were. So even though you said 20% up today, that's still 14% below pre-pandemic.
So we're talking 2018 and before.
Oh yeah,
correct.
And that's what it feels like. Like to me, and I think our team, we said, man, this feels kind of like that 2017, 2018, 2019 again, as far as like the type of negotiations we've had to do with deals, as far as the amount of inventory, as far as who has the power and the power dynamic versus the buyer versus the seller. That's really what we're feeling right now.
Who would you say has the power right now? Is it the seller or the buyer?
I would generally say the buyer.
Okay.
But if you go to Northern Virginia, I mean,
it's going to be the seller.
It's going to be the seller right now. In certain parts of Maryland, it's also going to be the seller. Wow. So again, the price point matters. I'll give you a simple example. Put a condo in Arlington on. It's a nice condo. $760,000. Okay. 2-bedroom condo. Not even 1,200 square feet.
What, for $760?
$760.
And it's a good deal.
And it's, exactly.
So good deal?
That market.
Yeah, for that market, I mean, it's a good price point. The condo fees aren't terribly high compared to others. It's like under $700. So, you know, it is in a luxury price point, if you will, even though it's not necessarily a luxury condo. But convenience is off the charts. You know, 1 block from Whole Foods, this and that, right? There had not been a property listed in that building in about 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
And then spring came, and within 2 days, 5 properties went on the market. Now, historically, that building sells within a week, 7 days. But now you have way more inventory on at the same time. So this is a microcosm of what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So you got more inventory on at the same time. Now, here's the thing. Does that mean the property doesn't sell? No, it sold. Like, it went under contract. It just took a little bit longer.
Wow.
So instead of 7 days, it took like 40 days.
Okay.
And you know what? That's okay.
Not bad.
It's not bad. You still sold. We were 10K under what they were asking for, but
bad.
that was 50K above what we were expecting in the spring. So call it a win, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I think that's a microcosm of what we're seeing. That's an example from both the buyer and the seller side.
So what I hear you all saying is right now, it's not a crash, technically. And that we need to stop panicking. Stop listening to the news and just get with the realtor and start doing the proper research.
On your area, hyperlocal. I mean, things are extremely hyperlocal in different jurisdictions. And look, correction is not the same as crash.
Right.
We had still been feeling, people were having kind of the muscle memory of what that 2020, 2021 market was. Now we are correcting back to a kind of more balanced market, which does have some ups and downs as opposed to only a seller's market.
Yeah. And we're going to get to a question here from one of our viewers because I think this is a very good question that I think everyone could really learn from this one. But one of the most common questions that I'm seeing come in when it comes to houses, I'm gonna get your thoughts and perspective on this, is my core audience, they're in the process of eliminating debt. So when they get out of debt, you know, one of the very next things they want to do is to start investing more, specifically into the stock market and into real estate. So they're saving about $500 to $1,000 a month. So within a year, they'll probably save about anywhere between $7,000 to $12,000. You know, so for someone, the average person who's setting aside $500 to $1,000 a month and saving to put down on a home, what would you all tell them to do right now if they are coming to the table in a year with about, I'll say right around that number, $7,000 to $12,000? Is that enough for a down payment?
The answer, I think, is one, obviously, it depends, right? Like we're always saying, it depends. But if we take the median sales price across the country, which is in the mid 400,000s,
okay,
and you're able to put a 3% down payment on a property, you're talking somewhere around $12,000 to $15,000 in down payment that you would need. That does not include any additional closing costs that you'd have to pay. So when you look at it like that, that seems kind of bleak. But what I would say is, in this day and time, what we're looking at is that because the market has tightened, and we all agree that the market is different, it's tightened up, people are much more cautious, the lenders have loosened their belts a little bit. And so they've loosened their belts and they're giving out a little bit more money to the buyers. So what we're seeing is that we have programs, and we've talked about some of them before on there, but there's a limited amount of money that you have to come out of pocket to get into the property.
Facts.
So when you pair some of those programs, some of the national ones like NACA, or you go to the larger banks like Bank of America, they might have some money that they're giving out. That's Chase Bank. Those are opportunities to take advantage of these banking programs that they have and limiting your out-of-pocket expenses to buy your home. Because in the best world, you would save your money and then you would keep your money, and then you use a bank, leverage their money to get into the property. That's the best scenario for you. And so if you can take that route, I would.
One of the things that a lot of lenders don't like it when I say this is, I don't feel lenders, and correct me if I'm wrong, y'all been in the business for a long time, I don't feel lenders really have their customers' best interests at heart. Here's why I say this. is because they approve me off of my gross income when I don't see close to 30% of my I don't receive 30% of that income. That's number one. Two, it is they're willing to put me into a home that technically I can't afford with my net income. Then three is not really on the lender, but we'll put all this money down, but then won't have any money in savings once we get inside the home.
Yeah.
As the coalition group, who you all are very big on education, as a foundational step, let's say this person, all they have is $16,000 to their name, and they only need $15,000 to put down. Are you all telling them to go ahead and get the house if that's only going to leave them with $1,000 left in their bank account?
I mean, and look, I'm the lowest risk tolerance person of our group and try to coach people on protection first.
Yeah.
I'd say that's not enough. I'd say you got to have a little bit more cushion. And I'd say there's a Venn diagram we help people think about when they're looking at business opportunities of capacity versus desire.
Yeah.
Like, what do I want over here versus what can I actually do within my capacity there?
Yeah.
And just because it's within what you could technically do, does that align with what you need to do for long-term goals? And up front, it may be probably not today. It may be probably not today. Doesn't mean never, and it doesn't mean that you can't, do these things. Also, to challenge, your assertion that sometimes lenders push people things outside of their affordability, based on certain loan program guidelines, you do have to have at least enough leftover money after down payment and closing costs to cover a couple months of payments. So that, depending on loan program, they won't let you close unless you can show some additional funds after you've covered down payment and closing costs.
So the average person is going to do the FHA.
Yeah.
Will the FHA be one of those programs,
FHA is going to, and lenders out here, correct us in the comments if we're wrong, but I'm fairly positive the FHA is going to have what's called a asset check afterwards to make sure you've got some capital in the bank for at least a couple payments.
Okay.
At least a couple payments.
I do know they check for assets. I don't know if they check for savings.
You got to submit all your your statements up until the end. So, and even if they were going to push you all the way to the limit, there's other things you got to be covered for. If it was a property I'm living in, I got to have some coverage on if something fails. Like, yes, I'll have a home warranty. Yes, I'm going to do an inspection, but like, we don't want people getting into it with such a small margin for error because like something is going to come up. But yeah, man, I think people should like really be thinking about it from a, of all the things I could do, what does my capacity actually allow me to do? And what is my personal risk tolerance? What else do I have going on in life? Right? Because like some of the investors and folks that can win the most are ones that do have that money I can just throw out, and if I lose it, or if I, you know what I'm saying? Like that's who can win, who has that really truly discretionary money. But folks on the come up don't often have that same level of discretionary money, and a little more cushion is always better, especially if you're venturing into something new like property investment. You got to have some cushion.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you're a newer investor or making an investment for the first time, your risk, you're going to have to take a higher risk typically, unfortunately. And the way you look at risk can be different, right? Like you're like, it's not that big of a property, or it doesn't cost that much, but then it took a lot of your money. And I wouldn't feel comfortable unless I had a few months of savings in the bank. So I wouldn't tell someone else the same thing. And I think Harrison is the most risk averse out of all of us. And so I think we can agree that, hey, if you don't have at least a few months of living expenses in the bank, like that puts you at a risk of losing a home, and you just got it.
You just got it.
You just got it.
Well, you just got it, and you can't even afford to furnish it.
Right.
And I tell people all the time, I have a huge Christian-based audience who follows me. Close to about 80% of the people who watch me are Christian-based. And sometimes they get offended, but it's like, there's two things that I don't like about the Christian community, right? So number one is, if it's meant for me, God will bless me to have the home. So I have faith. So the fact that I got approved, that's God. And I'm like, that's not God. Two, it is, man, I'm a pray. And if I pray and God answers, that's God. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not God. I've never had to pray for a home. Never had to. Because if I'm stewarding my money well and budgeting my money well, I know what I can afford and what I can get approved for, because God has already given me the resource to get a home. Two, it's like, one thing I love about you all, and I'm so happy that y'all said that, I love these guys because I agree with you. I think that you should have at least 3 months of your net pay saved in a savings account plus your closing costs and down payment. So that way, when you get in your home, if something does go wrong, and I've had several stories, they tell me, I just got approved for my home. I literally just closed on my home and I lost my job. Now I lost my job. I didn't have any money. Now I can't even pay my first payment. I'm already behind 30 days into the home. Now, this is not the average thing that's going to happen, but you do not know when life is going to hit you. And it's like, I respect, realtors who will say, hey, listen, we want you to be happy and we want you to be into this home and have a good experience after we get done with you. And the fact that you all are willing to say that is absolutely amazing. And so y'all, I know some of y'all may not like what I just said. And I mean this with all my heart. It's we within the Christian community, we pray for everything, but there's certain things that we pray for that we think that that's God and that wasn't God. You have no money in the bank account, but you got to prove, and you're saying that's God. My man, a blessing can turn into a nightmare very quickly if you do not steward things well. And stewardship is one of God's key teachings within our Bible. And I believe that, man, we shouldn't have to pray for a home. When we meet them, we should tell them, hey, this is my budget. Here's what I have saved. Here's all of my assets and everything. Go find me the best home within my budget. I don't need, the only prayer should be when we was getting my home, man, there's 20 people going for this home. God, allow my application to get through. Allow my offer to get through. But not, God, please let me get approved. God, my credit score is a 480 and I only have $5,000. God, please let me get approved. No, that ain't God. That ain't God. You know, that's not even the devil. That's just life. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get approved, oh, that was the devil. No, it wasn't. You just couldn't afford it. It's you. And so it's like, man. But speaking of that, man.
Faith without works, right?
Faith without works, man. And I
didn't do the work.
Facts. You know,
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
The Christian community, we're so big on praying, and I'm all for that, right? But it's like
you need some faith.
Absolutely, right? And I'm not saying don't pray, but my thing is like, God, let me know if this is my time. Like we was talking about selling my home late last year. And I said, God, let me know if this is the right time for me to move and et cetera, et cetera. I wasn't praying for, can I get approved? I know I can get approved. I know I can get a house, but I'm like, God, is it the right time? And Keith came over, gave me the value on my home, great money. He was like, bro, we can sell this home within 30 days, easy, you know? But then it was like, but I don't know if you're gonna have this payment for this size of a house during that time in the market.
Period. Yeah.
So I had to pray like, God, is this wise for me to do this? And God came back and said, no, just sit still. You're single. You got a 6,000 square foot home. You just built a beautiful pool. Boy, sit there until you get married. And I was like, okay. And so that's what I prayed for.
Building credit the traditional way is slow and confusing. And most credit cards want you to rack up debt just to boost your score. You see, I used to think that you had to choose between staying debt-free or having a good credit score. But here's what I've discovered. There's actually a way to build credit without any credit checks, without going into debt, and without paying crazy interest fees. And it works faster than I thought possible. See, my friends at Kickoff, they are the truth. They are doing something different. They help you build credit the right way without the debt trap. I've seen people go from no credit to a 700 plus score using their system. And they did it completely debt free. Say it one more time, completely debt free. Over 150,000 people have left 5-star reviews on the App Store. Users see an average of 34 points increase in their credit score. Some even see, watch this, up to 84 points within the first 12 months. These aren't just numbers. These are real people getting approved for homes and getting better interest rates. Here's the truth. Every month you wait is another month of paying higher interest rates on everything. A good credit score can save you a lot of money, thousands on a mortgage, hundreds on car insurance, and even help you skip the security deposits. Don't let bad credit cost you money. I want you to visit anthonyoneal.com/kickoff right now to get started for as little as $1 on your first month. I want you to build credit the debt-free way because your future self will thank you.
We have a family within our community, man, that went through a lot earlier this year. And she called in last week and asked a question. And I want us to listen to this. I want to get y'all thoughts on this because I really want to give her some practical wisdom to help her throughout the situation. I think a lot of people would appreciate this because I think some of them are going through the same thing. So let's go to that question.
Thank you, Anthony, for taking my call. My name is Audra. My husband and I are longtime homeowners. We lost our home of 25 years in the Altadena Eaton fire in January 2025. Like many African-American families in the Altadena and Pasadena communities, we are experiencing the impact of historic redlining and the current challenges of remaining in our area where the property values have significantly increased. Despite this, we are committed to staying and rebuilding in our community that we've called home. We, like many others, want to rebuild rather than see developers take over. While we are insured, we may be slightly underinsured. At 52 and 56 years old, we also are looking at how to best position ourselves for retirement within the next 5 to 10 years. In addition to rebuilding our home, we're strongly considering building an ADU to help supplement our income as we approach retirement. We would greatly appreciate your financial insight on how to manage our insurance proceeds in the short term, especially as it relates to the rebuild. Additionally, that our primary resources for retirement are 401k and pension, and we want to build more income with an ADU. We want to know if it's a smart move for our long-term financial planning. The city is supposedly offering streamlined permitting and flexibility on rebuilding at this time, so we think it's a good opportunity, but we want to approach it wisely. So many minority families in our area are now in a similar position, facing large sums of money for the first time without financial education or guidance needed to make decisions. Your platform is incredibly valuable, and we truly appreciate the resources and information you share. Thanks again for your time and any guidance you can provide. I've been a subscriber for about 8 months, and I always enjoy watching your show. Thank you so much.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. From the real estate side, is this a good idea?
Yeah, simply put, whenever there's the opportunity, and let's explain what she was talking about. An ADU is an accessory dwelling unit.
Okay.
That has different kind of descriptions depending on where you are. Because she's in California, most likely what that's talking about is a separate structure on the same lot that can be a rental property.
Yes.
Or it can be for multi-generational living, a place for grandma, a place for a family member to live on the same lot. Primary home, accessory dwelling unit.
Do they have to be connected or non-connected?
Not everywhere. In some places they are. What she's talking about most likely is a separate structure on the same lot.
I love it because I think in Tennessee it was connected.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, very different. So
ADU is cool. All right.
So the short advice to her is if there's two important things she said. In the midst of rebuilding, that the city is offering streamlined permitting and approval to make it happen.
Yes.
Because one of the biggest hurdles that people have in different jurisdictions is administrative and local legislation and local zoning regulations that don't let people put accessory dwelling units on the same property because of fears of density or like a lot of other NIMBY problems that like, I don't want this and it's gonna change the character of my neighborhood, things like that.
Yeah.
So if she has the opportunity to streamline getting that built, that's awesome. The two things I would say to look out for are when you get something like that built, when you add onto your home and make it more than what it was before, insurance, especially in California, is a really big concern. Who you have build the property, the process they go through between permitting, approvals, making sure all of the structural elements are going to be insurable in the long term is really important. So when people want to go build that accessory dwelling unit, it's more challenging to do that type of construction with my homie contractor that does stuff on the cheap.
Facts.
Like that yeah. So.
Facts. So let me ask you this question because she said something that stood out to me, which I want to get your thoughts on this. We were insured, but underinsured. How do we know if we're underinsured? Because I don't think nobody buys insurance and then wants to be underinsured in times like this. So this is a good teaching moment for all of us. Yeah. How do we make sure when we are homeowners, we have enough insurance? Because I'm concerned because my parents live in California and that stuff happens often out there. Yeah. So what do we do when we call into State Farm, wherever we go? I'm with Allstate. How do I make sure I have the proper amount of insurance just in case this was to happen to me?
We have a very good, and let Ryan give his feedback, we've got a very good and trusted insurance provider that helps people talk through that quick online quote that I get that saves me $20, $30 a month.
Facts. Talk to me.
What are the details of what that actual policy protects? Am I being penny wise and pound foolish? Am I saving a couple dollars on this end by avoiding the actual adequate protections? And am I checking in on it enough?
What?
Laws and a lot of the changes in between climate and a lot of other things happening in this world are directly impacting the homeowners insurance we're able to even get. So the number one thing people need to do, AO, is be checking in on their current policies with their insurance provider and take it beyond just the online inquiry. Like, are you talking to your actual insurance agent and asking the blunt question, in case of something catastrophic or bigger or different, am I protected? Because a lot of us just let it go on autopilot and we don't check.
You know what? I am going to do that because I think I'm going to create a free PDF because I think a lot of us do not know the proper questions to ask our insurance agents. Because when I get on the phone, they're asking me questions and then they just give me a quote. And I'm pretty sure that's the same thing that happened to this young lady, right? Now they're in their 50s, underinsured, because we will call, the companies. Like, for an example, when I call, I knew I needed more insurance because I had my pool installed. So when I called Allstate to get a quote, and I told them I just installed a pool, it's okay, cool. What's the average size? I mean, what's the size of the pool? I couldn't remember, so they guessed off of Google Maps, which is super crazy and scary. That they can look up my address and see the pool and estimate, the pool. And it was like, oh, you even got a little golf course back there? I said, hold the heck, how you?
It'll be in the state. Will Smith checking you out. Look at that.
I'm like, how you? Wait, hold up. So I'm like, but I didn't know the proper questions to ask. So you say y'all got a friend named Reggie?
Reggie, yeah.
Reggie. Does he do all insurance or just homeowners insurance?
He's mostly focused on homeowners insurance, and I think he might do business insurance.
Okay.
And to your point, being in California, you got fire insurance.
Yes, you got to have that in California.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're on the coastal, you're going to have flood insurance a lot of times. So I think that...
What do we have here? Nothing. Extra, right?
You can have there are some flood zones here. Okay. So you might need... so you might need flood insurance, but generally there's no disaster hazard zones around here that we have to deal with in a DMV. But California, Florida... even coastal Virginia, like coastal Maryland, like you're gonna have to have flood insurance, you gotta have fire insurance. And those are the ones where you might call, the Allstates and the, all of those kind of big insurance companies are pretty good with the general insurance. But those additional insurances, that's where you can really get caught up in. Because, they're the ones where you're like, what's the chances of my house getting caught up in a fire? It's I'd save $30 a month. And all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, yeah, I've been here 25 years, what'd she say? And now my house, because it only took one time.
Listen, man, I relate to that so much. One of my cars got hit. And it was hit by by someone who wasn't insured. Well, for me, it was like, well, it's a requirement in law to have insurance. So I said, so why pay for that part of the insurance then if it's required for everyone to have it? So I was like, let me just save $15 for it to cover me the non-insured side of things. Then so I went on 5 years. I get hit in the back bumper, the bumper. I get out my car, the guy hits me, he pulls off. Bumper is done. Called an insurance company. I was like, yeah, man, I was involved in a hit and run. I was like, okay, so this will be a claim, then technically up underneath your non-insured. I said, oh, okay, cool. Oh, Mr. ONeal, you don't have non-insured insurance. I was like, what do you mean? I have not, what? Well, I was so upset.
I bet.
So I had to file an actual claim that went towards me.
On yourself.
On myself. Like I hit the bumper myself because I was hit by somebody else. And I wish we were more educated on how to properly insure. Because if she was properly insured and still had the benefits from the state, her and her husband could probably come out on top financially with this situation, right? And so I want to meet connect. Reggie, if you watching this, I need you to come on here and I need you to come on, because what I want to do, I want to meet with not just Reggie, but someone to help us really understand how do we properly insure everything: car insurance, health insurance, homeowners insurance, business insurance, right? Yeah. How do we properly know the right questions to ask, the right amounts to go for to make sure that we're properly covered? I even want to talk about term life and whole life insurance because I have my thoughts on that too, right? I'm big on term life side. Whole life, I get it. I think whole life is good when it comes to tax savings and investing route. But when it comes to the most assured paid out, it's like, I kind of like, the side. It just varies, right? So I want to get some proper insurance on that. But thank you so much for calling in. Hopefully they helped you. My suggestion to you is, she said, man, we're really depending on our 401k and pension, right? I want to encourage you to sit down with a financial advisor. Because you need more than just 401k and pension, right? There's a study that came out and said that Social Security within the next 3 to 5 years will be done. Yeah. Will be gone. Which is so confusing to me, because I'm like, if I'm paying into it.
Been paying.
Still paying.
Still paying.
Still paying.
Where in the heck is my money going? If that's for me, what do you mean we're gonna run out? Right? So it's like, I understand what they're saying, because I understand study, but I don't understand how can I pay into something and you're telling me I'm not gonna be able to get it back when I get older. And so we gotta start taking matters into our own hand, our finances into our own hand. And I'm really excited. I'm gonna link it here because, man, within the next few months, I'm gonna be announcing the escape plan. This is my 5 phases to helping people go from paycheck to paycheck to wealth. And I'm really, really, really excited about that. And one of the things that we're really gonna be talking about in there is really how do we properly invest outside of just a typical 401k and pensions. How do we really do it? And I would highly encourage you and all of you all to 401k is great, pension is great, but what about a Roth IRA? What about a good index fund? What about a good strategy? Once a month, we have a coalition group coming on and teaching us about investing into real estate and building our portfolio that way. Also, once a month, we have the financial expert, the investing expert himself, Courtney, coming on, teaching us how do we properly invest and how do we make millions using the stock market. One of my friends, and then I'll do one more question, get about it here. We're already over by 8 minutes. But when you got good stuff like this, you got to keep on going. But one of my friends, man, she called me the other day, man, and she said something that was so good to me. She just bought her first home. And in the process of that, she had to turn in all of her assets. Well, she forgot that 5 years ago, I told her to open up a Charles Schwab account and to invest into a good ETF and a good mutual fund. Well, unfortunately, she lost her job and everything like that, and she let it go. She put close to $10,000 into the investment. And she was like, Anthony, I had to turn all my investment stuff. And she called me just screaming, going crazy. I was like, why are you screaming for? She's like, bro. I invested 10 grand into it. 5 years later, she didn't invest nothing into it. $22,000.
Yeah.
Compound interest, man. Yeah.
Compound interest.
$22,000. She said, Ayo, when I went in and printed it out, I was like, 22, I ain't put 22,000. I think I put close to 95, 9,800.
Magic.
And she said, and it helped her get the approval easier because it made her DTI stronger because she had an extra $10,000 outside of her own money she invested. And she's like, Anthony, I never put money in it for 5 years. Now she's like, oh, babe, I'm putting $500 into that thing every month.
Proof of concept.
I said, yo. And she's like, I forgot. But that's just the importance of this conversation. It's, I think when we can have home ownership, one of my good friends, here's a good question. One of my good friends, I'm not gonna call her name out, but I'm definitely gonna send you this because I want you to listen to this clip. One of my close friends, man, I love her dearly. She's 33 years old, super educated. I mean, got about 2 or 3 degrees. Okay. Young, 30, almost 30, 33 years old. Has a good job. She lives in Virginia, near Virginia Beach. And she got approved for NACA, but she never went through with it. And she said because she doesn't want the responsibilities. What would you all tell someone who has the means, but they're fearful of the responsibility of the home, which is why they will not buy a home, they'll rent?
You know, that's an interesting question because that's an interesting prompt around what's important to you. What is important to you? Is real estate the only vehicle? No, it's not. We know. You got Courtney coming in talking about other vehicles, right? Like stock market.
Yeah.
Is real estate a good vehicle? Yes. I mean, I think everyone can probably agree.
It's one of the best vehicles in my opinion.
Yeah. The question you got to ask yourself is, what are you comfortable with? What are you comfortable in investing with? I like a diversified portfolio.
Facts.
Meaning I'm really good at real estate, so I'm going to have a little bit more concentration in it than other people. But to me, just like you go to your financial advisor, you need to go to your real estate advisor and decide like how much money you want to invest into real estate and how much time you want to invest in real estate. The thing about real estate is it allows you to invest less money and more time and get a high return on investment. Whereas in the stock market, you can invest less time and have a high return on investment, but you didn't have to put as much money in real estate.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the opportunity differences you see.
Yeah.
I didn't have as much money.
Right.
So I went the real estate route because one, I understood it. I'm like, oh, I can see that. I can see this. That's drywall. That's brick. That's the kitchen. This sofa, this so I understood that. All right. I'm not that smart, but I understood that.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I went into real estate. But I think you can do either one. The thing I will say is if you're looking for generational wealth and you're trying to change your financial future of both yourself and your family, I don't know anyone that does not invest in real estate.
Facts. I don't know anyone either. And actually, all of my millionaire wealthy individuals, they don't just have one. They got several.
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing them do now is just really purchase even more land.
Dirt.
Like they're buying dirt like it is nothing right now. And because there's like, this is what they say. And correct me in the real estate space. Now I'm going all off script, but I just love it. This is why I love my brothers. They're saying they're fearful that within the next 10 to 15 years, we won't have a lot of dirt because people are having to buy and things are moving further out away from population. So what they're doing is they're going out to there to bring them all, not bring them, say this again. They're going out, right? Buying dirt, keeping that dirt inside of a trust, giving it to their grandchildren, because by the time the grandchildren come, we will be out there and then coming back.
Oh, 100%. I mean, look, what's the little phrase when we were kids? God made dirt and dirt don't hurt. All right. And so if you do a radius of 20 to 30 miles outside of any major city. And even a secondary city. Sometimes even a tertiary city. The simplest way you want to get rich is in 1 minute, if you can do this. And I'm not saying I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not this, I'm not that, right? But if you buy the dirt within 20, 30 miles outside of a very popular area and you wait 20 years, the chances that they're going to have to build out towards there is high because we're not making no more dirt and the population's increasing. So where are they going to go?
That's it.
Right? They're going to go there.
The other concern with being proximal to those primary and secondary cities is energy. Food production, storage, servers. Like, I mean, there's will be even more need as populations do continue to increase for stuff within even warehouse and storage stuff like close to city. Like there will be lots of opportunities in the future if you own the dirt for things to be activated on it. And USDA loans have a lot of interesting options of things you can do in areas that are designated more rural today, because those designations change year over year depending on population trends.
But yeah, like you said, a lot of conversations with people who are buying land, trying to build family compounds, who are wanting to put multiple structures on one piece of property to, protect themselves and insulate themselves from potential, hazards that we see in the future.
I was gonna bear with this. This is some good information. So I bought some dirt, and I'll be honest with you all, it's been a little discouraging because I can't do nothing with it now.
It's a longer term play. It's a much longer term play.
And that's what my mentor told me. He said, hey, respectfully saying this ain't for you. You will not benefit from this financially. if you're thinking legacy, like what you teach, this is going to benefit them more so than you. He said, I will just put that dirt inside the land, pay the taxes on it. Do not let the taxes go because you can lose it in tax court. And I said, okay. He said, but this is more so going towards your net worth and legacy play than it is for you. Would you all agree that 20 to 30 miles outside of the limit, because you just said 20 years. 20 years from now, I'm gonna be 62 years old, right? I'm thinking about that time, do I need to be selling any dirt? Or do I just give it to my kids and let them maybe build something on it and then rent it out down the road? And a part of me is thinking, this is so good, man. We gonna do a dirt show.
Talk about dirt.
Because it's like the land that I have is about 6 acres. I bought the dirt from a tax sale. Unfortunately, this older lady could not purchase. She couldn't pay the taxes on it. So everything finally went through, bought it. Got it appraised. It appraised for more than what I bought it for, tax-wise. But the real estate there told me, it was like, yeah, bro, you're not selling this sometime soon. Nobody wants this land right now. But he did say it's about 24 miles outside of the popular city. And so my thought process is, and this is where I need y'all to tell me if I'm thinking right. 24 years from now, boom, I have that. Put some rental properties on there, pay that off, transfer all that to kids or to whomever in the next generation, to where now that's rental money, free rental money coming in. Is that a good idea, or would you let that dirt sit there a little bit longer before you put anything on it?
Depends where it is, though.
Yeah, depends where it is.
Like the location matters. So like, has the development come
to that area
yet?
What's the closest thing people are doing?
Right. Has it made it that far? So you're gonna have to be kind of judicious about, looking. It's a great problem to have that you have assets and you got to make decisions about it. A problem nonetheless.
Yeah.
So the problem is you have to look and see at that time. And that's at any point in time. It might be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, or 50 years from now. We don't know when it happens. We just know that at some point in time in the future, people are going to look and people are going to make offers on your property. They're going to say, that's interesting. I'd like that property. I think we can do something with it. If you haven't put any structures on it. Or if you go about putting structures on it, then they might say, well, this is interesting. Like, can you rent it out? Because you have to look at the feasibility of being able to rent out that property in that location to the type of people that would rent from there. And does that make sense?
But your mind is such an active investor mind that wants to make things happen. I feel like that is going to always have some conflict with a land ownership strategy, because you got to think so much longer about it. Like some of the smartest people I know in that space, they don't think about the use now. It's like, I'm going to start out with some I'm gonna add utility service and do some short-term rental or some Airbnb type stuff, then see how that operates for a while, and then put some more permanent structures on it. And then if that ain't working, I'm gonna put some you can like do different things over time with dirt in areas that are not zoned specifically for just residential houses. You got like lots of options.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing I would say is, and not to throw up, but the first thing, my first decision point or my first question is, can I start buying the other lots around me? How can I start putting together a large piece of land, right? So start buying all the parcels around me. All right, I got 6 acres here. This person might not want to sell for 5 years. This person might not want to sell for 10 years. Like, you might have to wait that long.
Strategy.
Right, and it's a really long-term strategy, right?
Yes.
Because what if you put 100 acres together now?
Ooh.
Right? Like, now you're playing a different game. Or you could just, put a exotic animal farm on there or something like that. I mean, you can do whatever you want at that point.
Yeah.
But 6 acres, you're a little bit limited. But 100 acres, you can do some stuff.
All right. This is what we're going to do, y'all. When we have them on next month, I want to talk about the strategy around dirt. What's a good strategy? One, I think a lot of people want to know, okay, y'all keep talking about dirt. I know that means land. But from step 1 to step 10, how do I think about this process? What is a long-term play? What is a short-term play? Anthony said, Anthony, you bought, your land from an auction, tax auction. What is that? Or should I just go and buy land from a natural realist, like a realtor like you all?
Listen.
I want to give them all these options and do it, because I think to you all, this is not going to be a sexy subject because it's not a quick return. But remember, we're talking about eliminating and eradicating $1 billion in debt by 2050 and building our net worth, wealth, to $500 million by 2050. Well, that land is a part of your worth, your net worth, your wealth. And so you heard all of us say this, your portfolio should not just be in one specific thing. You got to have a lot of things, and this could be one of the things that's going towards that. And y'all just really convicted me. My dad owns some land, about 20 acres. It's about 20 miles outside of Columbia, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. He's trying to sell it. He hit a small issue. I think I'm gonna call him and say, hey man, I'll help you pay the taxes on it. I think we need to keep that inside the family for 20 more years. Because I mean, I think Columbia is not a big city, but it's a city, and it's growing. It is. And I think that in 20 years from now, that land may be something. The thing is, his mother bought it and passed it down to him 20 years ago. Yeah. So I think our discouragement as a family is we haven't really seen things go out there yet. Yeah. But the way the world is going right now, I think in 20 years we'll see something.
That's a bet I would play. Yeah. To pay taxes on it, I'd make that bet, yeah.
Pops, I'm gonna give you a call. Y'all, listen, we're way over time, y'all. Thank y'all so much, man. Like I said, we're bringing a coalition group on every single month because we got goals, we have missions, we have things that we got to do, and they're going to help us with the real estate game. And the next time I purchase some land or purchase some property, I'm going to walk us all through that process with them. I'm only working with the coalition group. Keith is my realtor. He's out of town working and traveling today. He's a part of the coalition group. So y'all keep it locked. Listen, if you all have any questions around real estate, around investing, around dirt, when it comes to the real estate, hey, we're going to put the number up on the screen right now. Go ahead and give us a call, leave your question, and I'll make sure that every time that they're on the show, as we're doing even with Courtney, that we play one of your questions, that we play one of your questions and we give it the proper answers because we want to make sure that we're helping our community grow and evolve. All right, listen, if you enjoyed today's show, do me a favor, hit a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next show. Peace out.